This is Ralph, and I'm back to tell you about um, my experiences I've been having lately. And then I have a confession to make. It's really been bothering me, and it's just crazy. And I know probably a lot of people won't believe me, but if you have facts to back it up, I know people always say people have twins out there, but it was just really crazy. My mom told me that I used to just go through a lot when I was little. I would see my dad on TV, and I would be so happy when I would see him. And when he would leave the screen, it was like somebody snatched him away from me, and I just didn't understand why. And my mom was always like, she knows something, she knows something. I used to have dreams about it, and I would see my dad like stuck in cement or he couldn't move, and I was getting pulled away from him, and that's how my dreams always were. And then I finally talked to him back in, 81, 82, when I was about 5. And it was, when I got on the phone, it was like an electric shock that went through the phone. And I mean, I was happy, sad, anxious all at one time, just these confusing feelings. I never knew why. But I knew I've heard his voice before, but I couldn't put the face. His name was Uncle Roger. He was a family friend. My mom had told me he had worked with Prince. So my mom had told me, Rosalind, go ahead and let him know that you're a big, huge Prince fan. You love Prince. Let him know that. And then she kept on trying to nudge me for that because while I was on the phone, he was asking me all these questions like, how did I like school? How I like being overseas because we were in Germany at the time. Who was my favorite musician? The first thing I popped out and said was Michael Jackson. He was not happy about that. He was not happy about it at all. And I finally told him, like Shaka Khan, Stevie Wonder, or whatever. But I told him Prince was my favorite. I sang like him. Every time I would hear his songs on TV, I would just have like a broom or like one of the little toy brooms as a kid or a brush and just singing into the brush in the mirror, always singing it. And he was like, so what's your favorite song? If you love Prince, what's your favorite song? I was like, I want to be a lover. Why you want to treat me so bad? And then I hear somebody, when I was talking to my Uncle Roger on the phone, I hear somebody him put his hand over the phone, and I thought I heard, she loved me, y'all. She really loved me. So I know you don't believe me. You think it's probably BS, but here's a picture. This is me as a child. This is him as a child. We're around the same age. That's my Aunt Tika, and we look just alike there. I don't know if you can really see this picture, but we look just alike in that picture. I have another one. I don't know if you can see. I do have some pictures on my phone, but I don't know if you guys can see them. But he's my twin flame. I don't know if you're able to see those pictures up close or if you can like change your contrast or whatever to see them better, but it's kind of hard. So, yes, so ever since he's been passed, my mom had passed in 2005, and she had told me back in 96 that he is my father. The only kind of contact that I have with my dad was like 81, 82, and he bought me this really big dollhouse. He asked me what did I want for Christmas. And I had told him, I said, I've seen this dollhouse, been wanting for a couple of years, and I wasn't able to get it because it was really expensive. He was like, oh, well, let me see if I could go ahead and talk to Santa for you and see what I can do. And then next thing you know, Christmas came, and I was just like, I wonder if Uncle Roger remembered or whatever. But before we had got the phone, it was like he kept on telling me, I don't know if they're gonna let me see you again. I don't know if they'll let me talk to you again. But just remember, I love you. Don't let anybody else tell you anything different. And it took me a long time to remember that, because as growing up, my father had brainwashed me basically. He told me he didn't like me talking about Prince. He didn't, I used to take up piano lessons for like a couple of years. And then when the last song I played, I was trying to learn how to play Purple Rain, because anytime I heard that song, I just pictured him watching me dance in the Purple Rain. And it just seems like, they, my mom loved for me to, she would let me watch Prince on TV. She would let me listen to his music, but my dad didn't like it too much. He was just like, oh, I'm not really a big fan of his, and I never really knew why. And I probably guess I won't ever get that answer, because my mom always told me I was a gift to the world. You always help people. You knew things that you shouldn't know. You know about death before you should know about it. Like before my dad had passed, like I had talked to him, I think at my adopted dad and my stepmom's house, because she asked me all of a sudden, hey, do you want to see your biological family? And they've been knowing for years, since I was 15, that I wanted to know my family. Back in 91, 92, he was calling the house, and it's just like all these memories are coming back to me, and I forgot all about the things that I just thought was very irrelevant. It played a big big part of my life, and I needed to, wonder why I was going through all these emotions. There would be times I would be extremely happy. There would be times that I would have dreams, or I would get really lightheaded and my head would hurt, and then I would see myself in front of thousands of people, and this wasn't in a dream, this was being envisioned, and I was trying to understand, why was I on stage? I don't, I'm looking around trying to figure out who these people are. I didn't know who they were, but after listening to a lot of music, I started listening to his music, like Until You're in My Arms Again. I bawled when I listened to that, Somewhere Here on Earth, because I used to always dream about him all the time. Like, there'll be times I'll get out the shower and I'll just hear, I never meant to cause you any sorrow. I never meant to cause you any kind of pain. And, and I would just, a tear would fall. Back in 97, 96, 97, I had lost I had twins that I was pregnant with, and I had lost them. And that was the hardest thing that I went through. And I seen my dad in my tape on TV, and my mom was like, she seen me, and I just started shedding a tear. And she was just like, what's wrong? Seeing him on TV upset you? I said, no, don't turn it off, don't turn it off. I said, he's so beautiful, but there's something wrong. And she's like, what do you mean there's something wrong? I said, he's missing something. He's missing someone, not just more than one. I think it was more than one. And he was in an interview with Oprah, and I think he had my brother Gregory at the time, but I did not know he passed away that day. And I guess I was picking that up. I know you guys are like, well, since he's passed, why didn't you go to the lawyers? Why didn't you do the DNA? Actually, I did. I had to go through all these questions. I went and got in touch with the DNA people, and then trying to figure out, how can I get this test done? I want to get the test done. I've been trying to get in touch with him before. I wasn't really on social media. When I found out, I found these two emails that he had, and I went ahead and sent him some emails, but I don't know if I got them back because I changed emails like about a couple of years later. But I never really got anything. I would check for weeks and weeks at a time, and I was just like, and I finally seen this uh, interview he had, and they said, how can people get in touch with you? How can they write you? And I guess he had one fan that actually came to his house and was stalking him or whatever, so he had took that off. So I said, I guess he doesn't have that email address anymore or whatever. But I did contact the lawyers that were over his estate, and at that time I didn't have enough information because my mom had told me just enough to where she knew from what he had told her. And she was just like, you need to make sure you get in contact with him. He's been wanting to speak to you. And I asked her if I spoke to him before, and she was just like, yeah, you have. But she wanted me to go through the research because she didn't believe me. And she told me there are going to be some people that are not going to believe you. They're going to probably think you're crazy or whatever, but it's true. And when back to my thing about the lawyer, they asked me all these questions, and I didn't get all my information about my mom. I knew what her last name was, and they asked me, were you conceived in Minnesota or something? I'm just like, I'm adopted. How would I even know that? I don't even know where my mom is. I know who my dad is. I just don't know where my mom is. I sent them all the pictures that I just showed you. I sent these to them. I have my paperwork from the lawyer office, but I can't show that because I don't want to get sued for some pure showing confidential papers. But from the estate, but they told me they wouldn't reconnect me with my family because I didn't have enough evidence. And I told them it wasn't about the money. I just want to know my family. I just feel like I'm not a greedy person. I never have been. But my destiny was to always be with my family. And it was just like going through yesterday, or, there will be days I'll be okay. But if I guess it's different when you have loved ones that are, not celebrities. You can get through the healing process a little bit faster. But since the fact that, that my dad is who he is, it's kind of hard to get over it. It's just the fact that I see my family on social media and I can't really reach out to them. And now it's just like, hopefully one of them will see it. And just to know that I'm ready to come home, ready to be reunited back with my family, wonder if some of them are indigos just like I am, and it just feels like, through this whole process, me awakening and ascending, it seems like me and my dad are coming into one. It's like we have the same facial expressions like this one. And the crooked smile, and I always wondered, why was I feeling this way about him? I would have visions like we would be in a past life where we were twins at one time, or we were friends at one time. I don't know what it was, but I just figured like we've always crossed paths, or we were together at one time and we always got snatched away. It was just like, it was part of life. Sorry, I had to take a pause for the pause. My daughter came in. But it's been a lot since he's passed that I've had to go through, and I was just hoping, he told me to go ahead and make this video. He was just like, don't worry about what people say. People don't talk about you anyway. They talk about me all the time, but the story is true, and I know it's gonna be jaw dropping, because it's just like, why is she coming out now? Because I really didn't want to put this out there like that. But if I'm having dreams and he's telling me to play it forward, go ahead, reach out to somebody. People are always constantly going through things and they feel like they can't make it through. And, just for the fact that, my mom wanted me to know who my father was. And they say indigos go through gut wrenching things, and I've been listening to different songs that he's had because I wasn't able to listen to him when I grew up, growing up. I just started back listening to a lot of things, before and after he passed. But it seemed like it's like more since he's passed because it's like I'm getting answers that I've been wanting for so many years. Him and Shaka made a song that I just recently listened to, and it just broke my heart. Actually, I watched it on YouTube, and it was this one. It was like Cafe de London or something like that with him, Dougie Fresh, and Chaka Khan, and Larry Graham. And he said he made this song that he wrote, and she put it on her album. It was like back in 2006 or something like that. It's called "Don't Talk to Strangers." It's about you leaving a baby behind, and I mean, it's still to this day, it's just for me telling you this, it hurts, to know that how can a parent, snatch a child away, how can somebody keep them away from their family, because, I see a lot of adopted children, and sometimes they're actually blessed to have the families that they're blessed with. But me, I was blessed with a mom that, even though we bumped heads a lot because I ran away from home, we always constantly argued, but she was the one who actually really showed me the most love. When I was younger, my dad really showed it to me, but it was like once I started acting and looking like my dad a lot, uh, he just went away. He didn't want to deal with me anymore. Still to this day, he will never, we don't talk anymore. I blocked him out because he thinks it's a joke since my dad's passed. He would tell people, oh, we don't know who your family is, but Prince is definitely not your father. And I said, well, if you don't know, then why don't you mind helping me? I've never, even though the people that are helping me, they were trying to figure out, why is your family not helping you? Why are you doing this by yourself? I said, now that's a good question now, isn't it? They didn't want me to know. They never really wanted me to be reconnected back with my dad. And my dad was like best friends. He always told me I was the best friend he never seen. And he actually made one when he was accepting. They had on YouTube where they made this video about him. He was receiving an award on American Music Awards, and Anita Baker gave it to him. And he was talking about his inspiration. And he said like this: it's about a friend that he's never met. He loves surprises. And, I was just like, I wonder what his surprise is. I used to always tell my mom, I bet him and Monte look like they have beautiful children. I bet he can have beautiful children. And she would just look at me like, yeah, he does. So, it was just, I know you guys probably were just like, damn, is she serious? Is this for real? Yes, it's very much for real. My mom, I'm only going to give her first name out. I don't want to put her out like that. Her last name, at her maiden name was a P. That's what I put. But my mom's name was Vicky. She moved to Oklahoma to have me, and then she moved back to Minnesota. So yes, I was conceived in Minnesota. I found out a whole bunch. I've been researching a lot about my mom. I have hit my aunt up on Facebook, my aunt Tika, but I know there's a lot of people that's claimed to be related to them, and claiming to be, my dad's like baby's mom, or their son or daughter or whatever. I don't know. From what she has said on the interviews, but maybe that's the reason why she hasn't hit me up. But I said if she gives me a chance, she'll probably see. But it's just like since finding out that I was an indigo and just wondering why I went through the things that I went through, and still going through, just wondering why, life isn't fair. Why would you take my dad away from me like that? Why would my parents, my mom always wanted me to know that's the reason why my dad divorced her, because she wanted him and her to go ahead and tell me that who my parents were, who, where I came from. My mom, she got terminally ill and died in 2005, and before she died, she started telling me all these different things about my dad, um, saying that my adopted father and his wife were jealous of me. They didn't want me to know. They always treated me horrible. They would do nice things when they wanted to show face or save face, but they tried to talk me into suicide, because they wanted to cover up that big secret, you know, um, and it's just really been hard to deal with, I know, like I said, I know a lot of people don't believe me, might not believe me, might do, I've always loved my dad, and I always will, and I mean, he doesn't seem like he's gone, really, because I always hear him talking in my ear, and that's another song, if you ever hear Somewhere Here on Earth, he'll tell you, he's seen your face 1,000 times. I used to dream about him all the time, but he was very loving, talking to him on the phone. You see him on stage, he's the sweetest person. He has a heart of gold. He told me we were like two fish in a pond, and I never really understood that. And it's just like one time, it was a couple months after he had died. It was probably like in September or October, and I guess he finally went through his transition. And I was sitting in my living room with my family, and I started feeling kind of weird, like my head. I started having these pains in my head, and I started feeling lightheaded, and I spaced out for a minute. And my ex-fiance was just like, "Hey, hello, hello," and I wouldn't move. And he said I was just sitting there. But in my mind, I had astral project to like my foyer, and I hear these, before that happened, I kept on asking, hey, you hear that clucking noise, like high heels or boots or something like that? He was like, no, I don't hear anything, Robin, I don't hear anything. It's probably outside somewhere, and it just kept on getting louder. And next thing I see this thing is like a ripple. Like if you see a movie and you see somebody walking up the street, you can't tell what they are, but it's like a wave. It's a person, but you just don't know who it is. And I actually seen that, and I was just like, who is that? And then I see him, and he comes in and he's looking all around, like he's trying to figure out where he is. I mean, he still had his afro, but he was a lot younger. He looked healthier. He looked happy. Um, he looked at my ex-fiance and trying to figure out who he was. And then he saw my daughter. And then he kind of looked and he's like, oh, she's so beautiful. And then when he looked at me, he was just like, oh my God. And I kept on seeing him grab his chest. And the next thing you know, it's like my spirit just went like this. And we were just talking to each other, and he was just getting so excited, and I was getting excited, and we were just crying. And he was just like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful, you're so beautiful. And I was like, thank you, Daddy, thank you. He's like, and you look just like me. He was like, I always imagined what you would look like. And I just, and I asked him, I said, you never knew what I looked like? He was like, I haven't seen you since you were a baby. He's like, no, they kept that away from me. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry. And he was just like, you're just so beautiful, you're everything. I always imagined what you would look like. And I always just thought, he knew what I looked like. And he was just like telling me how proud I am he is of me, and I grew up to be such a beautiful woman. And I said, thank you. So, after that, next thing you know, I came to. And he was like, hey, where were you at? And then next thing you know, my phone was going off, like I had my Bluetooth on, and then my my Bluetooth disconnected. My phone was fully charged. My Bluetooth was fully charged, and it's like ever since he's passed, like music will um, come on for no reason. I could be on the phone talking, I'll be on the speaker, cooking or something like that. Next thing you know, his music will come on, or I'll come in, like go to the bathroom and I see my TV on, and then there'll be somebody they'll either say a phrase that he said, or there was this one time where I seen this woman on Let's Make a Deal, and she had this big like vinyl record all across her chest, like she was supposed to be a human vinyl record, and it said Prince 1999 on it. And it's just like, I know that's his sign of telling me he's around. So hopefully, you guys can go ahead and watch the video, tell me about your experiences, tell me your thoughts, please no negative comments, I'm going through enough as it is. But like I said, my dad, I'm going to go ahead and try to see if I can show you another picture that I have here. There's like a picture of him when he was on the Tavis Smiley show. And this is a picture of me here. I don't know if you can see it. And there's another picture of us together. And we look like almost just like, I remember one day wearing my hair like this. And I hear him, he's like, can you warm me? Can you do that? And I felt the spirit, and I just started laughing. And I heard him, like, it's still freaking him out that, we were twins, and just, going to research and everything. And I know nothing comes to you by chance or accident. Everything happens for a reason. It was meant for me to get up and make this video this morning. It was meant for me to go ahead and tell my story. Because maybe this is the way I'm going to see my mom. This is the way I'm going to reconnect both sides of my family, to make us a whole again. Because it's like, it seems like since my dad has passed, it's like so chaotic. You don't know what's going on in the family. A lot of people, I'm friends with some people on Facebook. They're Prince fans, and they don't know that I'm his daughter. They talk a lot to me about him. They tell me about his music, and I said thank you. And they don't know the reason why I'm saying thank you. Because it lets me know, it heals my heart just to know there's a lot of people that still love him and still listen to him. It helps me get, it helps my healing process really. So hopefully, this will find its way to my family, and I keep my prayers up. I had a vision when I woke up this morning, and it was about me and my friend. I was introduced, me and my friend were at like some kind of gathering or whatever, and I hate the fact that when I have dreams, it's something I'm supposed to remember, but it's hard for me to remember. It's like throughout the day I would get like little bits and pieces of it, like a movie. And I would see it, and next thing you know, when I woke up, it's like I was telling her, hey, this is my Aunt Tika, you want to meet her? She's like, and I see my aunt putting her arm around me. She's like, hey, baby. And I wake up, and I'm just like, what is it I was supposed to know? And I said, I've been going through a lot, and just to know, why was I having all these weird feelings? Like, when my adopted mom passed, it was hard for me because she went through cancer, aneurysm, heart murmur, it was like fluid around the heart, everything. And, seeing skin fall off, it was just like really, ugh, it was just like a horror movie. And I thought that was the worst thing I went through. And my biggest fear, I've always told my parents, is just when I found out I was adopted, it's just to know that I have one or two parents that I've crossed paths with, knowing that was my worst fear, that I would never meet one of my parents. And it's like I knew, I had dreams and nightmares about, a passing, but I didn't understand it. Like I felt alone. Oh, I always felt alone, even though I'm with a lot of people. Sometimes I can still feel alone. Like I will sit there and be Like, I don't want nobody to touch me, nobody to talk to me. And I don't know why I'm like that. But it's like, ever since this has been going on, since my dad's passing, I've had friends drop like flies. I'm no longer engaged. It is, I've lost a lot. But, like they tell you, just because you lose it doesn't mean it's a loss. This, this experience that I went through has taught me a lot. I went through a lot, and just the thing was, is things gonna ever change? Am I ever gonna be back with my family? Am I ever gonna find me? Am I gonna know my true self? My dad, I did spirit writing at one time and didn't know what I was doing. And it was like I was writing down. He was like, "Hey, write down what I said," and I'm like, "Write down what he said." And it was like, way he was talking, it's like he was telling me I'm light, I'm love, and it's like it's a hippie, and I'm like, I don't talk like that. I was writing, and you can tell from the time where I started and he started talking, because it's like the Matrix. You really have to stay in tune and be on his frequency to understand what he's talking about. And it took me, even though we're like we have the same soul, just in two different bodies, mirror image. I had to look up what is a twin flame. I was, reading, about it, and it kept popping up to me, twin flame, indigo. The only time I knew about indigo was about the color, and there was a group called the Indigo, and that's really like telling my age or whatever. Um, but I never really knew what it was, and then I broke down crying, but it was break down crying, but happy tears, you know, um, uh, just to know it's like a twin flame. It's two separate bodies, one soul with a mirror image, and it's like, wow, I've looked at different pictures that I have, and it's like different facial expressions. We act alike. We're very both blunt, and I was wondering, there's a lot of times I will feel a certain kind of way, and I knew it was you know, it was different when it came to, I always get different people's vibes or auras, I get their feelings. And it's like, when my friends ask me, tell me about myself, and it's just like, I tell them it's a blessing and a curse at the same time to me, because it's a blessing when you can help somebody heal to get through their process, you know. But when you're able to, dig down deep after you scratch the surface, there's certain things that is very sacred to people that, you might not want them to know. And it's just like when I had told my friend about herself, even though we know each other for like 6 years, 6, 7 years, um, there was a lot of things about her I didn't know. 'Cause she was always, me and her have been the dearest friends. But, um, there's some things you just don't tell everybody, But I was able to tell her about things that I didn't know. There was no way of knowing because I don't know any of her family. Me and her are just really good friends. So that's the story I wanted to share with you guys. I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to, I'm not trying to harm anybody. I'm not trying to hurt anyone, because I know he has a lot of people that love him. I don't like calling them fans. Fans, fan is like a not a good word to put people that love people that they listen to on their music, or they feel like they can connect with them. I don't like using the word fan, because just like, I understand how my dad said it, it's like a fanatic, and that's not a good thing. So I just say the people that love him, I'm not, no means, I'm not trying to disrespect my family, my biological family, the Nelsons, and my mom's side. I'm not going to disclose her last name, but Vicky's side of her family. I'm not trying to do that. Um, I just want to be reconnected with my family. You know, I said I know I have to go through a healing process. I have to find myself. You know, he told me I had. He's passing this knowledge down to me. You know, this knowledge of love, you know, knowledge of wisdom. You know, he wants me to know myself because, you know, even though I know me, like, you know, I know me, my name's Roslyn, I know me, but know my true self. And I never really had a chance to know that because nobody would really tell me. It was always like secrets and lies, secrets and lies, secrets and lies, you know, and it's just like my life is like one big horror movie slash Lifetime movie network. You know, maybe it might even reach a movie. I don't know. I said that would be my goal. Is just to have, you know, a movie about my life. You know, be able to, you know, let people know. You know, you might think you won't be able to make it, or oh, I can't deal with this. I can't take it anymore. Um, you know, why is my life like this? You know, we all have to go through something to get to something. You have to sit there and you have to meditate, cleanse yourself, you know, figure out why am I here? What is my purpose here on earth? Everybody has a purpose. Everybody has a reason why they're here. We have to go through things to actually, you know, because, I mean, back before, you know, I mean, I still, like, with certain things, you know, it's still a healing process, but I had to learn to let go of a lot of things. I'm still having to learn to let go, because I'm so quick to want to lash out on somebody if I feel like they're doing me wrong, or, you know, but it's just like everything doesn't need a response to it. Everything doesn't need to fight, you know, everything doesn't have to have a fight to it. You can just, you know, take the L and keep it moving, you know, because it doesn't need your energy, you know, your energy needs to be focused on something positive, not nothing negative, because then you will never get out of it. So, this is the video I'm making, you know, hopefully it'll help somebody, you know, hopefully it'll help me, you know, I've been going through a lot, and I know a lot, you know, it's just like 2016 really sucked. You know, it really did. But I said, I'll take this year by storm. I'm going to do better. You know, I've looked at a lot of meditations. I've been meditating and trying to cleanse myself. My soul's been shifting. You know, I've been having body aches. You know, I would think I was sick at sometimes and I'd be okay the next day. I would wake up in drenched sweats all around my, you know, from the top of my shoulders all the way down my stomach, and just don't know why. And the rest of me would be cold. But, you know, going through these different temperatures, you know, I ask my kids, you know, I'm like, hey, it's cold in here to you? And they're like, no, it's normal, we're warm. And it's just like I want to jack up the heat, and I'm always forever cold. And it's just like, maybe, you know, I might be around, you know, an angel or something, because I stay cold a lot, like, or in my room I have no kind of air ventilation unless it's from the vent or down on the floor on the opposite side of the room. But, you know, I was thinking right before I make this video, I said, if you really want me to make a video, and I just felt this chill go right down my arm, and it's like tingling from the bottom, and it came all the way up to the top. So I said, okay, let me go ahead and make this video. So, you guys, I hope you stay blessed, keep spiritually cleansed. Anytime you're in a negative mood, meditate. Meditate, meditate, meditate. What I've been using, I use Dorian's Virtue. She's very, very good. I want to be able to get her tapes. Sorry about that. I had to pause for the cause again. Everybody's getting ready to go to church. I mean, not to church, but school and work. So I keep on thinking today's Sunday. But yes, if you feel like you know, you're in a negative space or whatever, just meditate. You know, Dorian's Virtue. I listen to Infinite Waters, you know, Peace. You know, I love him. He's very good. I love him. He's very good. And I've listened to, if you need any kind of information, other than, you know, I Google a lot of stuff, you know, because I constantly see freaking numbers everywhere, like 11, 11, 14, 14, 12, 12, you know, 16, 16. You know, I've been seeing double numbers all over the place. You know, I see it in movies. I see it on license plates. I see it in the clock. You know, I look at my phone, you know, but anytime you feel like you're in a negative space, just, you know, just shut everything off. You know, I don't even If I feel frustrated, I just put some music on and dance around. You know, just meditate and do what I need to do. So I hope you guys have a good day, blessed week, prosperous week, and I will see you soon. Peace and be wild.